Have you ever been watching a brand new movie and thought, hang on, I feel like I've seen this before? Well, it is not déjà vu. It's actually a sign that you've spotted a hidden blueprint, a kind of invisible architecture behind so many of our favorite films. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain.
Okay, just think about it for a second. What could Star Wars, The Matrix, and Harry Potter possibly have in common? I mean, you've got a farm boy from a desert planet, a computer hacker who thinks he's living in a dream, and a kid who lives in a closet under the stairs. Their worlds are completely different, but their stories, well, they share the exact same DNA.
And that's the big secret. They all follow this ancient, surprisingly universal storytelling formula. It's a pattern that's so powerful, so deeply wired into how we think, that it has become Hollywood's most reliable and, most profitable tool.
So what is this thing? Well, it's called the hero's journey. The legendary mythologist Joseph Campbell called it the monomyth. He was this brilliant scholar who looked at myths and legends from all over the world, from all through history, and he realized, whoa, they're all telling the same basic story. It's humanity's oldest narrative, and it's still running the show today.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, the hero's journey is a loop. It starts with a hero in their normal, kind of boring world. Then they get a call to go on some big adventure. They face a bunch of trials that lead to a massive crisis. And if they survive, they come back home. But they're not the same person. They're totally transformed. Really, it's a map for change.
Now, the full-blown academic version has like 12 or even 17 stages, but we don't need to get that deep. We can really get the whole picture by just zooming in on 6 key moments that pretty much define every hero's path.
Okay, let's walk through it. First, we meet the hero in their ordinary world. Think of Luke Skywalker on that dusty farm. Then, bam, the call to adventure arrives. For him, it's a little droid with a secret message. Next, they have to cross the threshold, leaving everything they know behind. This is where they face a series of tests, find their allies, and meet their enemies. Then comes the ordeal. This is the big one, the central crisis, the fight with the dragon where they have to face death itself. And finally, if they make it, they return with the elixir, which could be a treasure, some new wisdom, or something that saves their entire community.
And this is where it gets really interesting because the formula isn't some rigid cookie-cutter thing. It's super flexible. Just look at the call to adventure. In Star Wars, it's a direct plea for help from a princess. But in Stranger Things, it's a friend suddenly vanishing. Or look at the ordeal. In Lord of the Rings, it's one epic world-ending quest. But in Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's literally an explosion of hundreds of personal ordeals across infinite universes. The blueprint stays the same, but the building looks totally different every time.
So the big question is, why? Why does this one formula have such an insane grip on us and on Hollywood? Well, it pretty much boils down to 2 things: our own psychology and cold, hard cash. Let's start with the money, because you know that's what drives the industry. This chart says it all. Over the last 10 years, a mind-blowing 9 out of the 10 highest-grossing movies in the world were built on this framework. For a studio, using the hero's journey isn't just a creative choice, it's the best insurance policy you can buy in a ridiculously high-risk business. And check this out. This quote from an anonymous Hollywood executive is just brutal, but it's honest. It shows you how this has become a commercial mandate. It's what they teach in film schools, it's what they demand in pitch meetings, and it's created this powerful feedback loop that's incredibly hard to break.
But there's a pretty serious downside to this obsession. When you use the same blueprint over and over, you risk creating a conveyor belt of stories that all start to feel, well, predictable. It can smother new voices, discourage creative risks, and eventually, it can lead to us, the audience, getting tired and cynical. The very thing that once felt so magical starts to feel manufactured.
But what if there's another way? Just as the classic heroes started to feel a little stale, a really powerful alternative began to emerge. It was born from this growing feeling that the traditional journey just didn't speak for everyone's experience. And this quote, wow. This tells you everything you need to know about why a new model was so necessary. When the scholar Maureen Murdoch created her alternative, The Heroine's Journey, she actually presented it to Joseph Campbell himself, and his response was just so dismissive. He basically told her women don't get to be the heroes of their own quests, they're just the prize at the end of the man's.
So here's the crucial difference. Campbell's hero's journey is all about looking outward. It's about slaying the dragon, conquering the villain, winning the prize. Murdoch's heroine's journey, on the other hand, is about looking inward. It's not a quest for conquest, it's a quest for integration and healing.
about finding a sense of wholeness in a world that often wants to split you in two. And you can see that internal focus right in the stages. It often starts with a woman separating from traditional feminine roles so she can succeed in a masculine-dominated world. But after she gets that success, she feels this deep emptiness, a spiritual aridity. That feeling is what triggers a journey inward, a descent to reconnect with the parts of herself she left behind so she can finally integrate both sides and become whole.
You know what a perfect, super recent example of this is? The Barbie movie? She literally leaves her idealized feminine world, tries to conquer the real world by identifying with its rules, but finds that success totally hollow. Her real journey isn't about fixing Barbie land. It's about integrating all the messy, complicated, beautiful parts of being human to find her true, whole self.
The rise of the heroine's journey proves that these story structures aren't some ancient, unbreakable law. They're alive, they're evolving, and today filmmakers are pushing those boundaries even further, sometimes shattering the old molds completely.
We're seeing so much cool stuff now. You've got ensemble films like Mad Max Fury Road, where there isn't one single hero, it's a group effort. You have anti-heroic journeys like Joker that completely mess with who we're supposed to root for. And we're slowly seeing non-Western structures, like Japan's Kisho Tenketsu, which builds a story around contrast, not conflict. The old rules are definitely being rewritten.
So, the next time you sit down to watch a movie, I have a little challenge for you. Try to look past the special effects and the witty dialogue and look for the blueprint underneath. Ask yourself, what kind of journey is this really? Is it a classic hero's quest for conquest? Is it an inward journey toward wholeness? Or is it something new breaking the mold altogether? Because I promise, once you start to see the formula, you see movies in a whole new way.